Hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to get started talking about the virtual career fair and preparation around that. This is our flyer. I just wanted you to take a look at it so you can record the dates and the times in case you haven't already noticed it. This doesn't mean that you have to go both days. What we actually have is it broken down by different kinds of topic areas and different kinds of employers. So I'm going to encourage you to, after this, go into Eagle Career Network to not only number one, get registered, but number two, check out which day and times frame you would be best at for what you're seeking. All right, let's get moving. So let's talk a little bit about why you would want to attend a career fair. And sometimes I want you to think about this. And so you might attend a career fair because you want to check out what companies are in the area. You might want to attend a career fair because you want to see who's hiring right now. You might want to attend a career fair because you can get one-on-one conversations with some of these recruiters that maybe sometimes you feel like you're putting your resume into a black hole and you never hear back from anyone. You can get tips from these recruiters as to how to stand out and what you should be, how you should be showcasing yourself. It's also a great way to just get general information and knowledge from these different kinds of companies, maybe something that you can't necessarily find from their website or something like that. But the real reason we all want to go to the career fairs, right, is for the swag, for sure. And I know you're all laughing, but you're all on mute. So thank you for laughing. We definitely go for the swag, but not at a virtual. So unfortunately, nobody's going to walk away with a fun pen or a stress ball this time. So let's talk a little bit about what is an actual career fair. It's an online event, obviously, where you're going to be able to talk to employers. This particular platform that we're using, which is Eagle Career Network, is going to be a webinar or a webcast. So you will go in and you'll actually click into the company and they will invite you into their particular teleconferencing. So it's going to be their preference. So they might use Zoom, they might use WebEx, they might use Teams. It'll be very easy for you though, because all you'll have to do is one click. You won't have to download things beforehand. And try to visualize yourself like every time you sign up for one of these companies, it's like you're going and standing in front of one of their booths, like you would at a physical live career fair. So make sure that you're paying attention, that that's how it's going to feel like. And it's going to be all video, no chat. So I want to make sure that you're really prepared for that. This is what it looks like. You'll go into the actual platform and you'll see this. It'll be a list of different companies and you'll be able to go in and click into these different areas, these companies, and start to get in line or a queue. And there's a quick little video that's coming up that will help explain this a little bit more. Okay, so let's take it back a step first of all. So before the career fair, there's a lot you can do to prepare yourself, and preparation is key. So number one, you need a well-polished resume. I recommend you save it as a PDF, and you need to upload it into your profile on Eagle Career Network. This is going to be very important to remember. So this resume, if you don't have a good one right now and you're feeling a little bit nervous about it, then make sure that you come in and see one of our peer career advisors. We have walk-in resume reviews all next week leading up to the career fair, and we will have some of our professional career advisors available as well. So you can go into the queue on our website to do the virtual walk-in peer career advisors drop-in. You're not walking in. Second, clean up your social media. Pay attention to everything that's going on. Set those privacy settings at the highest level for your personal stuff. Open up anything that you have on LinkedIn. It's really important if employers are going to start searching you after the fair that they come across your professional LinkedIn profile and it looks good. So start from there. Third, check the list of who's going to be there. I obviously just said that, but it's really important for you to think in terms of developing a strategy. Who do you want to see first, second, and third? What are your top companies? And how are you going to go about creating that strategy for your day? Just like I said, create that priority list. And then when you've created that priority list, you need to do a little preliminary research. So you don't want to pop into one of the booths and say, hi, what do you do? Because you could have looked that up on their website. What you really want to do is pop into the booth and ask a high impact question, right? Something that you've pulled from their information, from their website. So it sounds like you did some research, but you're asking something on the very intelligent side that will get you noticed and make you stand out. So what do I research? Well, this is the kind of stuff. You take a look at all of their website. You want to check their press releases. Is there anything new and exciting? You definitely want to check their social media, specifically LinkedIn and Glassdoor. You'll get a lot of great information from those two sites. And then it's also nice to check out to see if they're active on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, just to see what kinds of cultural things you can pick up about the company. And is this a good fit for you? In addition to the rest of the things on this page. Specifically making sure you understand which jobs are open and if you're qualified. Okay, so more prep. Let's go to the tech stuff. Make sure you've tested your equipment. Are your updates installed? Is your camera working, your microphone working? Don't check this an hour before the career fair. Don't check it a half hour before the career fair. Check it a day before the career fair, because that will give you enough time to actually fix whatever might be wrong. Make sure you're troubleshooting any Wi-Fi connections, or if you already know that your apartment or a certain corner of your house has terrible Wi-Fi, then obviously fix that. Don't sit in your apartment for this career fair, because this is very important. Don't go to that corner of your house where it's bad Wi-Fi. Get to a good spot. Tell your people around you that you need quiet. This is very important for you to get your internship or your job. So try to create that space for yourself with the best technology. Make sure you're watching this how-to video and how to do this particular software. Make sure you're feeling pretty good before you get into it. We're going to watch a little bit here, and then I'm going to show you some links to some more information. And then obviously we talked earlier too, make sure that profile of yours in Eagle Career Network is looking good. You've uploaded a professional photo, you've uploaded your resume, it looks fantastic, and you've got all the necessary information in there. Okay, so we're going to continue with our prep. It's very important. So review common interview questions. This is important. So you want to think to yourself, how can I sound intelligent and again, stand out? You want to think through some of the things that you were going to ask these employers. So you want to be prepared for them asking you, and you want to be prepared to ask them things. Okay, so you want to keep your notes and your resume in front of you. It's really important that you're able to take advantage of the situation where you can look down and kind of remember something that you did, help with your nerves, even take a look at some of the quick little sound bites or even some stories that you've jotted down to prepare yourself, because they could move into some interview-like questions. Dress to impress. I cannot stress this enough, because you will be on camera and it's important to think about your outfit. Pick it out ahead of time, make sure it's pressed, make sure it looks good. You will definitely want to make sure that you're coming across as, I'm ready for this, I'm taking this seriously, I'm ready to go. Make sure you're paying attention to your background. The number one thing that all recruiters and career professionals are saying out there in the world is that use a background, use a Zoom background if you can do that, if you have one ready. If you don't, make sure that you're on a background that's pretty calm, the lighting is good, the noise is reduced, your view of you is in the full camera here. I've gotten onto a couple of calls where the face is like way down here. That looks silly, obviously. And maybe the face is really half dark because of the lighting. try to look professional and look like you're engaged in this situation. You guys understand this technology and you can do this. Okay, here's what Eagle Career Network has suggested for this particular platform. These are some best practices. So number one, do not use Internet Explorer. Okay, it's pretty simple. Number two, make sure you click the attend button. That's how you actually can get into the fair and get in there and start to join the chats. So when you get in there, you can get into several queues. So it says you can get up to 5 queues at a time. That's like standing in line for a booth. And you can sit there and wait for them the request that happens. And just make sure that you do not close your browser or you do not sort of move on to something else or you'll get out of the queue. And you may want to do this as a strategy, is get into these queues and see then one might be a 5-minute wait, one might be a 10-minute wait, one might be a 15-minute wait, and then you can kind of go in and out while you're doing that. Make sure, I kind of mentioned this before, instead of downloading all these things, just go ahead and click it and it'll be much faster if you just join their way. If you're interested in a company, go through and utilize some of the aspects that this platform has developed. You can put an interested star. They also have a section at the bottom where you can go down and type in your notes after each video chat. And that way that'll help you organize. Maybe you talk to 10 companies and by the end you're like, wait, who is the person that had that job? And then you have the notes there for when you're done and you can go back and write a thank you email. And then make sure you're logging into your Eagle Career Network account before to make sure that resume is uploaded. Okay, we're gonna quick watch the video and I'm gonna show you the link to watch this again later, but it's real short. Okay, we're back. That was a good video, and I'm going to show you where you can watch that again if you wanted to see it again and maybe watch it slower. So let's talk about now being at the fair. First of all, arrive on time. When that section starts of when you want to see some of these employers, I recommend getting there so that you can get in the queues first. Turn all other notifications off of other things you don't want your Teams pinging open. You don't want all these other things happening. Maybe even turn down your phone so that you're not distracted and having all these things pull up on your computer. We already talked about having your resume next to you so you can look down and refresh your memory of the things that you want to talk about. And then you also want to pick your strategy. So there's a couple of ideas that you can think about. So you've already gone through the list and you've created your top companies that you're excited about and you've researched them. So you want to go first off when you get into the platform is check to see what the weight is for those top companies. You may even want to consider going into a sort of warm-up company or a B company before you go into your favorite or top company, because that way you can work out the kinks, you can not be so nervous, you can sort of feel out how does this work, and you won't mess up in the atmosphere of your favorite company. So maybe consider that as a strategy. And then really go back and assess your goal. What are you trying to accomplish today? Are you just trying to get more information from these companies? Do you really want to get into these one-on-one sessions so that you can be vying for a good interview later? What do you want to do? And you saw in that video, you have a couple of options. The companies decide if they're going to do a group, which means you'll jump into like a group like this and you'll just hear them talking in general about the company, and you can probably ask questions to the group. Or it'll be just one-on-ones like you saw in the video. Some companies will have both options, so you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to what those kinds of things are. And then take notes. It's really important, again, like I said earlier, you could see several people in one day, and that could be, you know, a lot. That's a lot of information. So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to how that information all comes together for the follow-up. So what do you say when you get into these chat rooms? Well, you want to start with that elevator pitch, and it's really important to know, you know, your information, how does it come out clearly, and how are you selling yourself? A really easy formula to understand that elevator pitch is this 3 formula. Number 1, who are you? You can start with your name, your major, and what you're interested in. Then move into what you do and what you do well. This can be, I'm a great leader, negotiator, and communicator. I was the president of my marketing association at FGCU, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't have to go on and on and on. Remember, this is a 30 to 60-minute pitch, but you want to quickly link what you're good at with your skill set. And then talk about your goal. Are you looking for an internship, a job? Are you just trying to understand what this company does, and you're thinking something for later? Ask questions to keep the conversation going. What's the next steps? What are you looking for? What's the position? Whatever you're trying to gather information about. This is definitely the route to start you off on the right foot. Okay. So while you're at the fair and you're going into these different booths, you want to just really focus on building rapport with the recruiters. It's important to understand, well, obviously use your elevator pitch, but it's important to get to know them. And this is part of that culture connection when they're checking you out as much as you're checking them out. So you want to express genuine interest and knowledge. And again, that's based on some of the research. And then obviously through that elevator pitch and beyond, you want to talk about your strengths and what you're looking forward to in your career. Ask for their information, their follow-up. If it's not within the platform, ask them the next steps, what the process is. That is all okay to ask. But do not ask about salary, benefits, what's in it for you. That's not the time, that's not the place. This is really a lot about information gathering and giving a preliminary sales pitch for yourself. Okay, so what do I ask them? Gosh, this is a little overwhelming. Well, you want to start off with the company hiring needs, key company information that isn't already on the website, right? Again, you don't want to ask, what do? You want to ask, well, I saw that you sell X, Y, and Z product. What kind of companies usually are interested in those, or whatever you want to take it a next step, wherever you want to take that. And then you want to make sure that you're also understanding, again, like I said, what's the process and how can I follow up with you? This document on the right, I will point to you. It is available on our website and you can look that over as well. So after you're done, you just talk to 5 or 10 employers and you're kind of excited. You feel like you got some leads. It's a great idea to send a thank you email within the first 24 hours. Make sure that you're telling them who you are. I saw you at the FGCU Virtual Career Fair on March 10th. I'm really excited. We talked about the X position and I'm following up and I've applied online, things like that, because they might be attending several career fairs in several days, all in the same order. And you need to identify, again, in detail where you were. Okay, it's a really great way to stand out. So this is a picture of what our web page looks like. It's the front page. And if you want to do some appointments or drop in resume reviews, these are the 2 buttons that you would push for that. And it takes you right to another page where you can use Appointment Manager and jump right in. So this is a great place to take advantage of that. Then you have another little button right underneath that, and it says Career Fair. That's where you want to push to get into there, and you can get to more information. So on the second page, you will see when you punch into Career Fair, you'll see this area that says Student Registration Day 1 and Day 2. In this section right here, right now, because I took this picture a couple days ago, there's 2 more links that will open up which employers are coming on which day, so you understand which day you want to register for, okay? Then down here at the bottom are the resources. We keep putting up more and more of them, but right here is that little video we watched, the questions to ask employers that you just saw 2 slides ago, lots of other strategies, some of them to break down what we even talked about today if you want to review it all. So those are some great resources. I strongly recommend that you take a look at those. Again, this is our handout. You can get in there and we are done with the show. Here is our website, fgcu.edu/career services to get right to where you need to go.
So I have like kind of it's probably like a little bit silly of a question, but with the virtual backgrounds, I know sometimes like it'll cut off like a part of you or like your ear. Like, would you recommend trying to not use those and just use like a blank wall behind you?
I think you need to go with what you're comfortable with. So in addition, it's probably the safest to have the blank wall, right? It's probably very easy to just do that because you might be clicking into Zoom for one, you could click into Teams for another, and then WebEx for another. So then you've got to have your background ready to go and pulled up for each of those as well. And that can get a little tricky unless you're super comfortable with that. So if you're not comfortable with worrying about backgrounds for all of these different platforms, I would probably make sure that you have a very blank, sort of calm, benign black background so that you don't have to worry about that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Jack.
I was gonna ask, do you know when the next career fair is?
I was just going to say that. That's interesting. So after this, there will not be another career fair by us until fall, but there will be a June 10th one that is the statewide virtual career fair. And that means that all the state schools in the state of Florida are able to go to the same career fair. So there'll be bigger employers, national employers that are recruiting, not necessarily local employers.
When is that?
June 10th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for a job upon graduation, this is the one to be at.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm a sophomore, so I'm just kind of like starting out.
Okay.
Is the Eagle career link is that there's a profile, and do you need to would you recommend like updating that to look more like a LinkedIn type of thing?
If you can, yes.
Like, does employers see that, or?
Employers will be able to see some of that, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so is there any like good place to go where I could if they can like double look at it, make sure it looks clean, and also resumes and LinkedIn?
You can do our drop-in advising. We can definitely take a look at all of that and just kind of whip through it, take a look at your LinkedIn, give you a little feedback. Absolutely. So do the drop-in career advising.
And I'm sorry, like I'm very new to this, so
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
but I was gonna ask, is that this might seem like a silly question, but are you guys the career development service located on like main campus for like everybody?
We are. Yes. Yep.
And is that different than the Luckard career service?
Yes. Well, technically different. Yes, we partner with them.
Oh.
Who are you chatting with over at Luckard?
Nobody. I'm just trying to figure out how everything works. I'm a business.
Yeah. No. I mean,
fine.
Yes, we work together. Let's just say that, and we actually we come over there quite a bit, so we're generally helping out with some of the things that they're doing.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Like,
no, that's a good question. That's a really good question. It can be very confusing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
What else, everybody?
Rose, we have a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay. Oh, from David. How long is each meeting on average? Great question, David. They, I think, are 5 minutes and under, right, Mary? So I think there's a cap on them.
Yeah, the longest they can do is 15, but we try to encourage to do between 5 and 10 so the queues don't get backed up.
Right. Right. So then there isn't this huge long line of you're waiting 40 minutes to get in to see somebody. Okay. Recommendations for types of questions to ask a K through 12 teacher recruiter. Ooh, Cassidy, that's a good question. I would probably, to me, if I was searching for a company, I would be looking most at the company culture or the educational culture of where you want to go. So focus on the right fit for you. What do you want to know about a particular county or their way of doing things? What are some hot buttons for you that you need to know to work in that county or wherever that school? I would make sure that you're paying attention to those kinds of things. Does that help, Cassidy? Just asking here. I'll let her respond. Okay, great. Yeah, culture. Where can you review the video? The video is on that main page of our webpage. And when you get to our main page of our webpage and you click into the career fair green button, I'll do it again here. I'll share my screen so you guys can see it. Okay. So here we are again. See here's the main page. Here right here is where you would click these two to go in to do an appointment. And then right here is where you go in to look at the information for the career fair. You can go down, register. You can click into this for the day 1 list, this for the day 2 list. And then here under resources is the little video again. And here's a couple of different guides of ways to think about your strategies and preparing, and then questions you can ask employers, different kinds of articles that we have posted. So these are all links into that. Okay, go back. So the main page, here's for appointments, virtual appointments, and then here's for the career fair. I know it's hard when you're all just kind of absorbing it. I did go through that pretty quick. I think something to think about is, don't be intimidated by the platform. I think you guys know technology way more than you think you know it. And it's really not that difficult. You're just kind of getting in line for a booth and you're just clicking onto their Zoom link or whichever kind of a link that they put up there. And you're just chatting, you're just talking, you're being yourself. Try to keep your comfort level down, that you don't get too nervous. There's just no reason for it. And I think you guys will do fabulous. The employers are super excited to talk to you. Mary's been talking to them for the last month, and they're just really anxious to get in front of you. They haven't had a whole lot of chances to get in front of the students this semester because we've been on this COVID lockdown. We're hoping, maybe crossing our fingers, that we can have an in-person career fair next fall. So for those of you that like that in-person situation better, that's also something to hopefully think about for the fall.
To do now from the prepare for the info sessions from now till the first one.
And what's the question? What should you do to prepare?
Yeah, like what do you recommend, like, as a good, like?
Jack, are you referring to the career fair or for an internship?
I was referring to the career fair. I guess you just said that, sorry.
No, that's okay. Just go in there and check out the list of employers, decide who's your top ones, and then go and research those companies who you think are your top ones. That's probably a good way to prepare, in addition to preparing your information about yourself and how you can best express some of your top skills and the experiences that you've already had.
Okay.
I'm seeing a couple questions in the chat. Reed says, is there no specific time for each company during the day? Are they available through the 9 to 3 timeline each day?
I can take that, Rose.
All right, great.
Okay, I'm sending out an email this afternoon from our office that will have the details of the event. There are certain areas of industries that will be there at specific times. For instance, Wednesday morning, the teacher recruitment fair. So there'll be a large number of schools there. The afternoon is health services, and there'll be companies in that area. But also throughout the day through 9 to 3, we have a number of companies from all different areas of study, and we'll be interviewing all majors. So you really just have to look throughout the day what's happening. And the same thing will be happening on Thursday. So watch for that email. It'll be more details, and you'll be able to understand the day more.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet.
We have another question about background. Solid green screen should be fine. I think that's okay, right? I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Mary? I haven't heard anything that there isn't a why solid green would be bad, but
I think one of the biggest things is if you are at your home and you don't have a screen, just make sure you're sitting that maybe there's a wall behind you. You don't want to see an unmade bed. You don't want to see a messy desk or a kitchen table with a cat jumping over you. So just make sure that you're sitting in a space that looks clean and neat so that you're projecting someone who's organized and prepared for the interview or time that you're going to spend with the employer. Great.
All right, fantastic. Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to email our office, careercenter@fgcu.edu. You can definitely do that. Good luck, everybody. I know you're going to do great. Like I said, the employers are super excited to talk to you. So just be yourselves and do your best.